staff, how
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
I've already put something out on the first incident, and I did a report.
Okay.
Just because I just have concerns because of his instability.
Okay.
Because it's just not normal.
Right.
Like if he had a problem with you, like
Why wouldn't you come up here and tell me, hey?
I wouldn't do it, but maybe one day he's having a bad day on top of not liking you, and you drive by and he gives you the finger or something. Like that's not normal or rational, but playing these little games with you. I mean, if you were my sister, he'd have significant problems.
Like, yeah.
Not that I don't care about you, but you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
I don't understand. Like, I don't care what kind of a. I just would not treat a woman like that, no matter what she would say or do.
Well, no, you're
Like-
a human being. You don't want to be treated that way either. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't put it this way. I don't even know. I've been here 10 years. I just know. I just say hi to that neighbor. I don't know them. I don't know this guy. I know Paul because he's always out. He's always saying smoking a cigarette all the time. These neighbors I only see him like 2 or 3 times. That's it. I mean, I mind my own business. I told Julio, why are we gonna get into? We're not that kind of person. We're not drama. We don't show like, oh, we got a new car, we got this, we got that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to show it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I told my husband, I'm like, we're out. It's weird. We're out so quiet, and then this is what we get. You know what I'm trying to say to you? You're on. You mind your own business. You know, trying to raise my family. You know what I mean? And trying to do my shit. You know, go to work, and then sure enough, when I'm passing by my house, I see this fucking idiot. I'm like, dude, man, what the heck? You know what I mean? Not only one time. He did like 6 times. Around the circles and around the circles and around the. I'm like, man, he's up to something. I'm like, is he gonna pick up my trash and look through my trash? You know what I mean? That makes you wonder because it was trash day today,
Right.
and I threw a whole bunch of paperwork away, like a lot of important, and I just ripped it all. I have a shredder, but I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, people are digging my trash. You know what I mean? Like it makes you dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Could.
I don't
So-
know.
All that said, he's no dummy, and he does he does like
He's smart about it.
yes,
Okay.
he does legal research. Because one day when I was talking to him on the phone, we were going back and forth, and he made a comment to me about the phones in courtrooms,
Oh.
and he was talking about Supreme Court ruled that you're allowed to have phones in courtroom and tell them this and that.
Also, he's doing research.
And I had never even heard of what he was talking about because
You don't look into that.
we don't have a courthouse here in Tecumseh. I don't work as a bailiff, so I'm not
You don't know
up
very
to
much
speed.
about it.
I just last I knew the courthouse you couldn't even take one in the building, let alone a courtroom. And when I was talking to him, I was like, really? And I was like, do you know and he recited the case, and I'm Googling, and I'm reading. I'm like, son of a gun! Like he's not
He's not stupid.
stupid.
But
So-
that means he has a lot of time in his hands.
He does. He absolutely does. There's no
I
question.
don't have no time. I barely can take a shower. I took my gym bag to go. I can take a shower at the gym because I was gonna change the oil on my car. So I was gonna go to the gym, take a shower there, and go back to playing. I don't even have time to take a shower.
Right.
Shit, I'm barely. I'm like, you know what? I gotta call the cops and deal with this shit. Now just cancel and do it some other day. And my husband goes, "This idiot is stopping your whole world to do shit in your life, Mertz." I'm like, well, honey, I have to protect myself. You know what I mean? I want someone to know that this idiot is doing this. If I keep it to myself, what's gonna happen?
Right.
And if something happens, why don't you report it? You know what I mean? Like you guys, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you tell me, if something happens to your wife and she don't tell you, don't you get pissed off?
Yeah.
And if something happens?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I just gotta take care of that.
Yeah, but I could see my wife thinking like, oh, he's really going to go off the reservation if I tell him this, so maybe she wouldn't, or maybe she'd minimize. But my wife is a fireball herself,
Actually,
so
I am too, but I'm a fireball. If someone pissed me off, then you know what I mean.
Right.
But I'm trying to low key with this guy because I was gonna go with him and tell him, what's your problem? Why are you trying to provoke me? You want to say something to me? You want to say it? You know what I mean? But I say I'm gonna low key, and my husband's not home because something happens. I'm by myself. You know what I mean?
right. Well, I think he's probably thinking, because I've talked to him on the phone, and he's kind of brazen.
That's me.
I've only been in physical proximity of him, in the police parking lot,
Oh.
and he's a lot more nervous,
Oh, is it?
and like he's not as nearly as brazen as he is on the telephone.
Oh.
So I think I think he probably doesn't know, have a clue how feisty
He is.
you can be. I can just tell by like when you get excited how the way you talk. Like I
My
can
husband
tell.
said the same thing too.
I can
Yeah.
tell like he probably has no idea. Like if you go off, like he won't be expect. I'm thinking like he's probably thinking like,
I'm a
well,
little
she's
person, yeah.
a smaller female. Like, but
My husband goes, "You don't want to mess with a Puerto Rican girl." I'm like, I just don't want to go to jail.
right,
You know what I mean? I don't want to go to jail. I have my kids to take care of. It's just I'm a person that I'm a smart person. If someone's gonna fuck with me, then sure enough, I'm gonna tell them what I feel about it too. You know what I mean?
right,
But like I told my husband, I'm like, he's a guy. You're not here. Why am I gonna get to his fucking level? You know what I'm
Right,
trying to say
right,
to you?
right.
Why? Why am I gonna get to his level? I'm gonna show him more important. He's more important than I am. You know what I'm trying to say? Like this is how I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't wanna. And my husband goes, well, if you talk to him, he's gonna think he's very important. And I'm like, that's not the point. I don't want to deal with his shit. You know what I mean?
right.
So my husband goes, well, you know, what do you have to do? What can you do? Try to avoid going by his house. I'm like, I cannot stop my world just to not go by his house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I just drive by. It's easier that way when I'm on Chicago Boulevard. You know what I mean? Just take Main Lane straight down and turn here. Versus me going the other way
Right.
when I'm coming the other direction. My husband goes, just avoid passing by his house. I'm like, okay, Julio, I'll do it because you said so. I mean,
So
what would you do about what would you tell me? What can I do as a cop perspective?
Yeah,
And
that's-
not only the cop's perspective. I want you to be honest. Be outside of the box. What should I do? If this is your wife, if I was your wife, what would you do? You would tell me.
if he was doing this to my wife,
What would you? I mean, what would you? I mean, the nice way. What would you? I mean, my husband could go and talk to him and say, "Hey, you have a problem with us? We're just a family. We've been here 10 years. We never had a problem. You know what I mean?"
right,
And my husband goes, "Yeah, but the thing is, what about he has a fucking gun and he brings a gun out? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
you know what I'm trying to say? You don't know what people.
That's
You want
true.
to be the good person, but you don't know
Right.
what the fuck he's gonna do to you."
Yeah, if you were my wife, well, I doing this job requires me to not be in trouble, where I can't do this
Oh,
job.
well, someone fucks with your family.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'd probably be, it would not be, I don't know, I don't know how I could keep from doing something that would get me in big trouble. And I'm not saying like I'd yank him out of his house and beat his
I don't know,
ass,
but you
but
can talk to him too, right? And
I would imagine that if I confronted him within shot of his Ring doorbell, it might not be the greatest thing for my employment, but he probably wouldn't come back to my house.
that's
And
what
I'm
my
not-
husband said the same thing too.
I'm not advocating violence, but and there's a price to be paid. Like, for example, there was a meme floating around Facebook when it was fashionable for people to burn the American flag. And the meme said, like, in America, you're legally allowed to do this, and it shows the guy
Burn the flag.
burning the flag. And then as you scroll, the next picture shows, but it doesn't mean this won't happen. And it's a guy with a follow through, and the person burning the flag's like face is like this, and his tooth is in the air, and like it's not that you can't assault somebody. You can assault somebody. You're just going to be charged with assault. If I was a general contractor and you were my wife,
Sure enough, you
I'd
probably beat
been
the shit out of him.
already over
Oh,
there
hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
trying to make an impression on him. If nothing else, maybe the first time go hopefully scare him out to just stop. And the second time, it'd probably be time to,
Do something about it.
and again, I'm not saying that violence is always the answer and whatever, but
But the thing is that
especially a woman.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, but that's why to my husband, I'm like,